Right everyone, and welcome back to the Highland Collector YouTube channel, finally. So yeah, elephant in the room, I've been missing from the scene now for about 8 months or so at this point. But even though I haven't been creating content recently, it doesn't mean I've kicked the hobby and stopped collecting. In fact, the opposite is true. Since I've been gone, I've acquired grails and fallen deep into the LEGO Star Wars rabbit hole. But I'm not talking about LEGO Star Wars quite yet. This video is about Star Wars Black Series. And whilst I've been gone, which is all of 2023 so far, this year we've gotten some really great Black Series figures revealed. And some not so great ones, and some that could have been great if Hasbro wasn't so fucking lazy. But the year is only half over and there's still plenty of figures yet to be fully revealed to us. So I thought it would be fitting for my first video back to refresh myself and remind you guys of all the current pipeline figures we should expect to be officially revealed in the second half of 2023. Starting with some figures from the Kenobi series. Now the other day we did get 2 reveals from Hasbro based off this show, which are both set to be Target exclusives. The first is this incredible battle damage Vader from the final episode. And this just has to be one of my favourite figures revealed this year so far. I think Hasbro did an amazing job, especially on the new helmet and the creepy head sculpt. Apart from that, it's just the same Vader from 2022, but there are some little differences, like the busted up chest piece, which I think is a great detail. In addition to Vader, we also got our first look at Clone Commander Apo as well, because I guess he was in the Kenobi show too, but jokes aside, it's great we're finally seeing more clones based off their designs from the actual live action films. Although I do wish this figure was just packaged as a normal 501st clone, so we could have gotten a better Apo in the Clone Wars line with his classic Avatar helmet design. Although despite many complaints from fans, this figure here is actually accurate to the Apo we see in the film. And the show Kenobi of course. But anyway, there are actually 2 more figures that were pipelined along with these 2, and they are also based on the Obi-Wan Kenobi show and will both be exclusive to Walmart. Which we will probably see revealed sometime next month, just in time for Walmart CollectorCon. Now the first one is the main man himself, Obi-Wan Kenobi, sporting his outfit from the final scenes of the show. This should be a really cool one because the outfit he's wearing is actually just straight out of the comic book pages. And I do really like this nomad design. With the white shirt and the goggles, it's just really refreshing to see a Jedi character like Obi-Wan in different attire that isn't just Jedi robes, and it's one of the main reasons why I like this Obi-Wan Kenobi Tiverton Station so much. So that should be a pretty unique Obi-Wan to add to the collection. But more importantly, we were also getting a Force Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn as well, the original Force Spirit. This one should be cool too. I guess it's just going to be the 2021 Qui-Gon Jinn, but translucent, just like the Ghost from the Return of Jedi 3-pack. So even though it's not an entirely new figure, I'm still extremely hyped for this one. But with these 4 figures, I do think it's looking like the end of the Kenobi sub-theme for now. Yeah, it's a shame we're not getting Owen and Beru, and I think even a young Luke and Leia 2-pack could have been quite cool as well. But anyway, back to the actual confirmed future figures. Now this next one is probably the one I'm most hyped for myself, and that's of course Pre Vizsla, who will be joining Ahsoka, the Magna Guard and the Clone Trooper in the Clone Wars line, as get this a mainline release, which is kind of wild. But this guy is so long overdue, and I can already tell he's going to be awesome. I just hope Hasbro does him justice and gives him a removable helmet as well as the Darksaber of course. Now it is great we're finally getting Pre Vizsla, being he's greatly needed, but one thing we don't need is his son, another Paz Vizsla. But that's exactly what we're getting for what, the 5th time now? And it's just going to be a deluxe re-release in the Mando Galaxy box. As the original was in the OG red box, we had another on card back, one in San Diego Comic-Con packaging, and finally one in that shitty Galaxy Carbonites box. But now we're getting him again, which is definitely not needed. I get he just died in Season 3, so he's relevant, and Hasbro wants to milk his sculpt whilst they can because he's now dead, so he's not going to be appearing again. And as cool as that original figure was, this is a character we only really need one version of. Yet Hasbro is expecting us to pay deluxe prices again for a figure we probably all own at this point. I think it's just crazy that we've gotten this character 4 times, yet we've only gotten 1 Padme. But speaking of Padme, we are finally getting our second Padme figure, based off her look from the 3rd act of The Phantom Menace. I mean, I would have preferred maybe Queen Amidala or even her Tatooine disguise, as they are both more iconic and better costumes in my opinion. But hey, I'm not turning down a new Padme figure, since we haven't gotten one since our only one back in 2019, which is just outrageous considering she's a key character, much more so than Paz Vizsla, for fuck's sake. Now also joining Padme in the Phantom Menace line is another really long overdue figure, that being a young Anakin Skywalker, who I am so excited we are finally getting. Obviously this will be a smaller figure, so hopefully we do see some extra accessories, such as his pod racer helmet. That would be a really sick inclusion. Then again, even if it's not included, I'm just happy we're getting this one in the Black Series. But what I'm really just happy for is that Jar Jar won't be alone in the Phantom Menace mural anymore. Poor little guy. But finally we have our most confusing pipeline reveal yet, that being Greef Karga's droid from Mando Season 3. And no, not the main one, the Astromech. I mean, I guess it's cool we're getting more properly scaled Astromechs on that new body. And this one looks kind of unique, but still, why this one? I mean, even worse, it's a Walmart exclusive, so it's going to cost even more because of the exclusive tax. It's outrageous because it's smaller than a normal figure, so it's just going to peg warm just like his owner did twice. But speaking of Greef, we don't even have his Season 3 outfit yet, in the 6-inch scale. But we're getting his droid first. Honestly, they just should have done a 2-pack for San Diego Comic-Con. The new Season 3 Greef Karga and his droid. That way we wouldn't get another mainline Greef filling up the pegs, and his droid would then have an actual purpose to exist. Such a wasted opportunity. Now that's all for the air quote original air quote figures. As finally we're going to be looking at the next archive wave, which I think is a pretty decent lineup, although it doesn't quite make sense and it's definitely not their best. Firstly we have the 2020 Stormtrooper from the Mando line, which is a good inclusion, as basic army builders like this one should always be available. Next we have another Vader for some reason. There's definitely older, harder to get characters we need more than Vader, especially because we have quite a few on the market at the moment, so that one doesn't quite make sense to me. Another one that doesn't quite make sense is X-Wing Luke Skywalker, who was part of the archive wave back in 2018 I think, so again I don't know why we're getting him again. And finally there's Bo-Katan as well, who despite being a pretty recent figure is actually starting to go up in price on the second-hand market, because she is sold out everywhere. And because of that, I don't actually hate her inclusion here, especially because she is such a prominent character in Star Wars right now. But last and probably least, we have 5 new holiday figures coming out at the end of the year. Now this is something Hasbro has done for what, the past 2 years now, and honestly, I'm not a fan. Don't get me wrong, I mean they're a cool gimmick, and I do think they're designed nicely. But it's just not something I'd have sit on my shelf all year round. I mean, these work better as ornaments, I think. Anyway, this year we're getting 5 more. Those being the Holiday Mandalorian, a Jawa, an Ewok, a K2 security droid, a Purge Trooper, and also a Snow Trooper, which is actually kind of fitting. Out of all of those, I think there's actually one that's going to make me finally break and buy one of these holiday figures, and that's the Ewok. As you know, I'm always for more Ewok representation in the Black Series, and I'm going to take whatever I can get when it comes to them. So I think this Ewok is going to finally make me crack and actually buy a festive figure. So yeah, I think that's it for today, as they're all the current pipeline reveals we have for Star Wars The Black Series as of July 2023. So let me know down below in the comments which ones you're most excited for. Me personally, I can't wait for another Paz Vizsla. But that's all from me for now, and don't worry, I'll try not to wait 8 months before my next upload. But anyway, thanks for watching, see ya.